Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclydes MTG. Found an interesting little article today. It's a little old, February 27th, but not all the good stuff rises to the top. Sometimes a turd sinks every now and then. But anyway, we got a little thing here about Hasbro CFO sharpens focus on cost cutting as toy shoppers pull back. Interesting references in here. So before we get into it, don't forget, hit all those cool links in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It'll help the channel, and it's free. We're also on Rumble. Let's get into it. So, the CFO, Gina Goiter, I'm sure I butchered that name, has made the announcement of serious cost cutting at Hasbro. So what's the article say? It says here she's the chief financial officer, in case you didn't know what CFO stood for. There's a serious decline in toy sales, mainly due to inflation, supposedly. In 2023, sales of toys slumped 7% globally compared to a year earlier. However, it also says here that in the U.S., retail sales at hobby, toy, and game stores slipped less, only falling 2% in 2023 compared to a year earlier to $21.2 billion. However, if you look here for how Hasbro's doing, the owner of brands such as Nerf, Play-Doh, and Dungeons & Dragons has felt the pinch, and then some. The revenue of this company since last year took a 15% slide to $5 billion compared to 2022. The company missed analyst estimates when it reported this month, sending shares plummeting on Monday. Its stock closed at 48.67, down 12% from a year earlier. So, to confront this, the CFO is getting down and dirty here. And old Gina joined the company last May from motorcycle maker Harley Davidson, because that's kind of like making toys. Well, let's be honest. Harley is just a big adult toy. So I think she's got some experience. Kind of checks out. Anyway, moving on. The company's chief executive, Chris Cox, took over in 2022 following the death of a longtime CEO, Brian Goldner. Getter is taking the scythe to the cost in response to declining sales. So this month, the company jacked up the 2025 cost savings goal to $750 million, roughly double the original announced goal 2 months ago of $350 to $4 million in cost savings. That's pretty big deal. So she basically points out here that they're talking about material moves, product cost. She pointed out company's recent review of Nerf products, noting that the company analyzed everything from the thickness of plastic it uses to the type of packaging and compared those costs to competitors. Does Nerf have competition? I mean, seriously? Like, Nerf is Nerf, right? Anyway, at every step of the Nerf production process, the company found it was spending more than its rivals. What are the rivals? I'm going to have to look that up. Good thing I'm prepared for this. So Hasbro compiled a list of 40 cost-saving ideals from just Nerf, and if they adopt 8 of the largest, it'll save $10 million. Now, of course, they're going to look into the quality and make sure that making these changes won't affect that. But if it doesn't affect any changes, they're clearly going to do the changes. So this includes impact of its decision in December to cut the workforce by 20%, or about 1,100 people. It also includes efforts to reduce vendor costs and improve efficiency across its supply chain. Yeah, supply chain's fine, right? I mean, it's recovered. It's been 4 years. I mean, it's what they want to tell you, right? Until these issues come up. Anyway. So, other woes in the company stem from a 2019 acquisition of a television and film company called One, or Entertainment One, according to the CFO. After the purchase of E1, as it's known, which was aimed at producing programming for children, Hasbro took its eyes off the core toy business, which ultimately hampered innovation and demand, she said. No, it didn't. Everybody should always expand their business, especially into new categories. If your other businesses slumped, it's because you're doing them poorly. Buying a new business does not affect that, unless that new business drags down the rest of them, which I don't think it did. I just think their sales sucked. So, because she goes on to say the toy industry was slowing at the time. The same time, our innovation pipeline was the weakest. Boy, she ain't got that wrong. These guys are so slack-assing it. They bought E1 for $4 billion in December. Or they bought it for $4 billion, and in December sold E1's film and TV business to Lionsgate for $375 million. That's right. They took a $3.275 billion loss because they're good at business. God, Hasbro, Jesus. Anyway, moving on. Talk a little bit about that and talk about some analyst stuff and yada, yada, yada. It talks about here the analysts describe Hasbro's turnaround as particularly challenging given when the weakening in toy demand. The company also missed its own profit guidance during the late quarter, which raises concerns about its forecasting, said Linda Bolton-Weisner, senior research analyst at an investment firm, D.A. Davidson. So Hasbro has a net loss of $1.49 billion in 2023, due largely to the one-time charges stemming from the sale of E1. So compared to $203.5 million profit a year earlier. So let's get this right. If they hadn't sold E1, they would have made billions in profit. So would it be better to just keep it? Numbers seem weird to me, but we'll go with that. So anyway, the 2023 adjusted earnings before interest and taxes, depreciation, amortization, yada, 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 between $900 and $950 million instead came in at 709. A little short there. So here's the part for all you Magic players out there. The company, meanwhile, is expanding a division that includes popular tabletop games such as Magic the Gathering, as well as digital games, said Andrew Yerkwitz. If I got that right, I'd be amazed. Managing director at Jefferies. But he added, it's hard to invest in a growth segment while your toy business is pulling you down. Very good point. Right now, Magic and a lot of their digital games is floating the entire Hasbro company. Literally, if it wasn't for Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro would be bankrupt. Ugh. Talk about product revenue ditching 19% to $2.9 billion, while Wizards of the Coast and digital gaming rose 10% to $1.5 billion. So they basically lost 9% because the rest of their company, other than Wizards of the Coast and digital gaming, which is from Wizards of the Coast because they're licensing out D&D, carried the company the best it can. God, his back must hurt. Anyway, so in addition, Hasbro shifted some of its less profitable brands, including Easy Bake Oven, For Real Friends, to a licensed model, meaning the company will no longer carry the inventory for those brands on its books. Instead, they're going to license them out. What that means is they're going to charge people to make the items for them and then just bank that money and hope other people can make it better than them and make money. And to be honest with you, that's probably going to be easy for other people to do. Hasbro should really do this more often because they obviously suck at running the business themselves. Just putting it out there. Anyway. So it's not the most fun thing the CFO or people in finance love to do, but sometimes it's a necessary way to get your arms around all the costs, she said. So, yeah, so their fourth quarter here, it says they'll be rolling out zero-based budgeting, a method that requires companies to challenge and justify each line of its budget. The method is helping Hasbro get a firmer grip on expenses and ensure the money it spends lines up with strategic goals. So, there you have it, everybody. Hasbro's had its wake-up call after piss-poor sales and piss-poor management. This is definitely Cox and everyone else in the business trying to figure out how do we keep our jobs because we suck at running this place. I don't know what else to say. Ed. I mean, it's really eye-opening, but what's really sad about this is with all this information, this is really nothing that we didn't already know. Just from being in the environment of being in gaming, toys, being a geek. Like, we've known this for a long time, and people have made several videos on their YouTube channels, and, even US Bank, or whoever it was, bitched at Hasbro about reprinting in Magic. They've had so many warning signs that they were going to have a shit show coming soon, but yet all they could see was the money at the end of the rainbow. Guess that rainbow has not fell into a pot of gold. It's fallen into a manure pile in a cow pasture somewhere because they did not heed the warnings of actual markets, the people who buy the product, investors, people who actually know how to do analytics. Instead, we'll just put people in place who say they can make money. Guess what? You can't always make money the same way. If that was true, businesses would never change. If you could always make money the same way, we would just teach it in school, right? And then everybody would make money, everybody would be rich, and it'd be great, and everybody could do it. So, yeah, interesting theory there. Much like Bud Light and many other things, Hasbro has found out by effing around. So, until next time, be kind. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. Stay tuned. We got some more cool box openings and news coming for you. I hope to see you across from a game table. Hasbro ain't careful. Might be playing some other game as something. The Hasbro will be has been. Ugh.